Hello and welcome to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neil Howard. Thank you so much for returning for another segment. We'll be speaking with Vin Singh in this segment, founder and CEO of BullFrog AI. BullFrog is a precision medicine company. He's joining us to talk about their bfLEAP platform and how leveraging the power of AI and machine learning can quickly digest and analyze large sets of data. Welcome to Health Professional Radio, Vin.
Great to be here, Neil. Thank you.
I understand that you've got quite a background. Give us a brief look into your professional background, your area of expertise, and then let's talk about BullFrog AI.
Sure. So I have about 25 plus years of experience in the life sciences and biotech industries. I'm a biomedical engineer by training, three-time founder or co-founder of investor-backed companies. The first company I co-founded is a company called MaxCyte, which trades on Nasdaq. They did an IPO a couple of years ago with a $1.5 billion market cap. That symbol is MXCT. After that, I started at what at the time was the world's first adult skin cell and stem cell banking company for regenerative medicine applications. That company's called Next Healthcare Inc., and that's operating today. And then about 6 years ago, I decided to start BullFrog AI. And the reason I started the company is I was always surprised and shocked and frustrated really by the high failure rates in late stage clinical development, drug development. And I decided, I want to change that formula of failure, make a difference. Even if we can move the needle a little bit, it'll impact the entire healthcare infrastructure and benefit millions of patients around the world. So I decided to start BullFrog AI.
Your bfLEAP platform. Talk about this platform briefly and tell us exactly what it does and who it benefits.
So the bfLEAP platform is a technology that was licensed from the Johns Hopkins University Applied Physics Lab, also called APL. Just give a little background on APL. They are not a little lab. They have 6,000 engineers and scientists developing all kinds of amazing technologies, mostly defense-related, missile defense, space exploration, robotics, things like that. And they developed this amazing and powerful AI platform over the years and successfully deployed it in different sectors. We were able to get a worldwide exclusive license to this technology. This technology has, and by the way, this technology won Innovation of the Year at APL, which is a big deal, considering all the other amazing things they work on. So we're starting with, blue chip technology. This technology has an amazing ability to predict targets of interest, to find relationships and patterns and anomalies, and it thrives in large, complex data sets. Mm-hmm. And, fortunately, in the world of healthcare and drug development, that's what you have. You have very large, messy, complicated data sets. And we're using the technology to make discoveries, find insights, help kind of direct the development of a drug to make it more successful, so that, ultimately, we can impact the sort of the success rates and efficiency of drug development. Because right now, it's a very long and very expensive process with an unacceptable failure rate.
Now, it's my understanding that BullFrog recently announced a partnership with the Lieber Institute for Brain Development. Tell us more about this partnership, the program, what you hope to accomplish, and then what makes bfLEAP stand out from other AI platforms.
Okay. So this is actually a really exciting partnership. The Lieber Institute for Brain Development has a very unique data set. Nobody in the world has this kind of a data set. They have more than 4,000 post-mortem brains, and they've been studying these brains over the past 10 plus years, studying the brain tissue. They have medical history and other information on all these thousands of patients. I think it's very interesting to note that, according to Deloitte, 1 in 8 people on planet Earth have a neuropsychiatric disorder. Okay? These post-mortem brains were collected from patients with neuropsychiatric disorders. So there's a really big problem out there. we have this huge comprehensive database of brain data that nobody in the world has, not even close. And what we're doing is we're combining that with our one-of-a-kind proprietary AI platform. And when we do this project, which we've started now, there are a couple initial phases to this project. And what we're trying to do is the following. Number one, see if we can find a common thread across all of these different neuropsychiatric disorders. Are there genes and other characteristics about these patients? And by characteristics, we're talking about lab data, medical history, what drugs are they taking, so on and so forth. So looking at all of the data and looking for a common thread. When we do that, that's going to make, this information will be extremely valuable to pharmaceutical companies. They can better design their clinical trials, right? That's why a lot of clinical trials fail. They enroll the wrong patients. So if better know the profile, the genetic and non-genetic profile of a patient that would best respond to a drug, that's how you increase success rates. Then we're also going to look at the specific neuropsychiatric disorders and look at all of the data for that disorder and try to identify what we call new drug targets. Mm-hmm. So when you take a drug, it targets something in the body, and that's how it has the effect. We're looking for new, novel drug targets. Now, that's also incredibly valuable to the pharmaceutical industry because they can do one of three things with that information. They can, number one, rescue one of their drugs that maybe failed, years ago, because they're going to run their library of drugs against these new drug targets to look for hits. They can also repurpose drugs. Think of the Viagra story, right? Mm-hmm. An approved drug they have may actually be effective against, for one of these neuropsychiatric disorders, or a, new drug development program. So the outputs of this exciting project are going to be incredibly valuable to the pharmaceutical industry, and ultimately, the goal is to impact patients' lives. And this is what you call a precision medicine approach. You're really dialing in, what's going to work and try to reduce those failure rates.
It's my understanding that BullFrog AI also launched the BullFrog Data Networks. You were talking about benefiting pharmaceutical companies and other entities. Talk briefly about this BullFrog Data Network and then give us a website where we can learn more.
So I'd like to start off with an analogy. Think of the energy industry, the oil and gas industry. You have companies that drill for oil, and then you have refineries that convert that oil into diesel, jet fuel, gasoline, right? So they take that crude oil and make it much more valuable for consumers. That's what BullFrog Data Networks is. We're acting as a refinery for all of the healthcare data that's out there. There are a lot of companies, as you just mentioned, pharmaceutical companies, as well as companies that just aggregate healthcare data, and they sell that data to pharmaceutical companies so that they can, make discoveries and advance their programs. But what we're doing is acting as the refinery and saying, hey, we'll take this raw healthcare data and we can apply our lens to it to make it much more valuable. We can help you see things that you will not be able to see any other way. So that's the whole concept behind BullFrog Data Networks. Now, we are, right now we're applying it to public databases that are out there. So there are databases that have been mined and explored for years. But we're analyzing that data and we're finding things and seeing things that nobody else has. Same thing for proprietary data. So, this is how we work with companies. They have their own data sets and they're looking for answers to give them an advantage in their drug development programs. So that's basically what BullFrog Data Networks is. We're excited about it because we think we have a very important role to play. As far as our website, you can find us at bullfrogai.com. And in there, there's a page about BullFrog Data Networks as well.
Vin, I appreciate your time this morning. Thank you so much for sharing, and I'm hoping that you'll come back and give us some updates as to how BullFrog's AI platform is doing.
I would love to do it, Neil. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You've been listening to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neil Howard, in conversation with Vin Singh. Audio copies of this program are available at healthprofessionalradio.com.au, also at Anchor, Spotify, and be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Health Professional Radio.